Ciao, guys. Welcome to another episode of the Personal PR Show. And today is a special day because we are here with my PR mentor, Jen Berson. Oh my God, Jen, we're so excited to have you here. How are you?
Oh, I'm great. I'm so glad we were finally able to find a time that worked for everyone. I'm so happy to be here and thanks for having me.
Oh, thank you for dialing in all the way from LA. We are 9,000 kilometers, 9,000, only 9,000 kilometers apart. I don't know, like 9 time zones. But I think this week is only 8 time zones. So it's 8:30 for you in the
Yep.
morning in LA. You're having coffee, and I really envy you. You're a coffee lover. So am I. But here it's too late for coffee. It's 4:30 already. So I'm resorting to tea now. Anyway. Okay, so we're here to talk about PR today. This is the Personal PR Show, so we usually talk about PR, but today we're really going to talk about the importance of PR. As a matter of fact, the title of our conversation today is Why Personal Brands Should Invest in PR. So, Jen, you have been in PR for 16, 17 years, right?
18. This month is 18 years. Yeah. I know, it's
Oh,
crazy.
it's crazy. Oh
How
my
can
God.
that? I mean, I'm so young. Like, how can that be possible? I don't know,
You are
but
exactly. No, absolutely. I mean, it's really, really shocking, but it's true. It's true. We have proof that you have been in this business for 18 years
yeah.
and you've always had a PR agency. So we could talk about for hours and hours, we could talk about, how you run up your PR agency and how you teach as well, PR publicists, how to run their own agency. But today, and this is how I met you, right? Because I learned from you how to start a PR business, a PR agency and coaching consulting as well. So I owe you so much when it comes to my business.
Oh, I'm so
Now,
happy to hear that. That's so great. Yeah, I love like helping people start businesses, and that's like my true passion. More than PR, it's the entrepreneurship side. Yeah, oh, for sure.
wow, really?
Yeah.
Okay. So
Oh, yeah.
be on the PR personal PR show again to just talk about business. But
Hmm.
today, if you agree, we're going to talk about the importance of PR because our lovely audience is made of personal brands, right? So
Hmm.
basically, they are coaches, consultants. Basically, they are the face of their company. Maybe they're solopreneurs, maybe they have their own, they have a team as well. But in any case, they are the face of their company. So they are personal brands, and they are interested in PR. But I've noticed as well that some people still don't get what PR is. And I'm trying to, to educate them and to advocate for PR. And a lot of times still I find myself trying to explain to people why PR is important. So I talk, of course, I talk about earned media as opposed to paid media, which
Yeah.
usually marketing and so on. So this is the kind of conversation that I think we could have today, if you agree. So if I were to ask you, Jen, why PR is important in general, and then why PR is important for personal brands, what would you reply?
Well, there's something really valuable to having that third party validation, that credibility that comes with media sharing your story, sharing your expertise, even deeming you an expert to speak on the topic in the first place. For personal brands, especially, it really gives them that validation that their expertise is worthy of that position of being their go-to in who they're referencing for the information they're seeking on that topic. The source, like, is that source this person that is getting out there for, like you said, coaches, whatever they're coaching their audience on. If the media is going to go to them and say, we're rounding out a story on this topic and we spoke to 3 experts and you're one of those 3, it's automatic third party validation that you are worthy and an expert on that specific topic. Because the media, you think they can go and get access to anyone. The truth is that they oftentimes have a hard time finding the right sources, which is why um, platforms like Harrow are so helpful, because journalists are able to find the right sources for their articles. So I know Harrow, Help a Reporter Out's been out forever, and I know you probably speak to your audience about it, but it is still worth perusing for opportunities. And even if you don't get that one opportunity that's the right fit for you, you can still look at it and see what journalists are looking to know about. And maybe you don't get that specific query, but you can use that as your own kind of pitch idea and say, okay, if that one journalist is interested in this, maybe I can spin it a little bit more and add my own voice into the mix. But in terms of just credibility, really deeming somebody as an expert, it's a way to really fast track somebody's authority is by having media features that you can leverage and really show that you are a go-to authority for certain topics that you want to be known for.
Yes. Oh my God. Thank you for explaining it so brilliantly, so clearly as well. So guys, I mean, now you have no excuses. You got it.
Exactly. Let's go, people.
Let's go. Absolutely. Yes. And then basically, so we said that our audience is made of personal brands. So a lot of times personal brands can't, let's say, can't afford to hire a PR agency yet. So, and these are the people that I'm helping as well. I'm teaching them maybe how to pitch and how to network. We learn this as well. Exactly. We are, let's say, on that level. But then as we grow, because a lot of personal brands can scale very fast, and then they can afford a PR agency. What do you think is the right moment for a personal brand that is scaling to start hiring a PR agency? And then in what capacity should they start hiring a PR agency? And maybe, you know, that can grow with time as well. The retainer can grow, and the services that are included can increase as well. So what would you say is the ideal timeline for this?
Yeah, I think that PR is a very significant investment of time to do it at scale, you know. So like the way that our agency runs, we're working with clients, we work with brands that are physical products and baby and kids, beauty and cosmetics. But I've worked with a lot of coaches, and I've been in this coaching world for a decade or so, and I've helped a lot of people figure out how to tell their unique story. So I really truly believe that we know our expertise, we know our stories, we know what unique value proposition we have to offer, and really how we can kind of fit into what the media is trying to tell, probably better than a PR person. If you really think about your own journey, your transformation, or what you've brought your audience, the transformation you've brought them on or through, we know how to tell that really better than anybody, because it's our own personal thing. And so I think that it's totally viable, doable, possible for personal brands, you know, the experts that are looking to get media, to reach out themselves. It doesn't make you look any less credible. You don't have to have a PR firm name. Honestly, I truly believe this as a PR agency owner. You don't have to have a PR agency pitching you. I've had people I know create like an email account for like a member of the team, and it's really just them, or it'll say press at, and just go through, you know, G Suite or whatever they're calling it now, Google Business Suite, and just create some, you know, different aliases to your own email. That's totally fine. Just press at and pitch. And I think that when you get too busy and you're trying to do it at scale, or you have a launch, if you're doing a book launch, it has to be, and you have goals, it's really about setting those goals. Like, what is your objective and what are your goals for this thing that you're reaching out to the media to amplify? Is it just trying to get yourself featured in the media as an authority on a certain topic? Or is it bigger, like trying to get yourself as a New York Times bestselling author? Now that's a very, very calculated, strategic, coordinated campaign. Like if you just watched Amy Porterfield with her book launch, she was on every podcast. She had a whole launch event around selling the book. You know, if you bought the book, you got a ticket to this special event. That is a really calculated effort, and something like that probably needs an agency or a more strategic, coordinated effort that's very time consuming. And the way that we do PR, that I know that you do as well, is It's not this spray and pray, volume pitching, just going for quantity over quality and just sending out mass pitches, because that doesn't work. I would rather see somebody target one or two or three media outlets that they think to themselves, like, that's where I need to be. You're reading these publications. I'm trying to think, because I usually have like Inc. magazine here. I just like happened to, I was going through this and I'm like, I know somebody that would be really good for this type of article, or this could have been my, my friend so-and-so. Like, grow your own way. Like, you read this and you think, I could contribute to this. Like, I know that this is a good fit, right? So you target in, you're like, I'm going to be an Inc. And I'll tell you right now, I didn't even realize this, but on my desktop, I have the cover. I have a vision board as my wallpaper. Let's just, okay, still do. And one of the covers is actually Inc. magazine with a woman on the cover, because it's sort of like female business founder. And I just lasered in on that. And I was like, I want to be featured in Inc. magazine. Like, I really think I have something to contribute. And actually that's right there, my Inc. Best in Business Award. Like, I just thought, why not? I'm going to throw my hat in the ring, start paying attention to what they're doing. And so it's about really lasering in on a few things where you have that strike of inspiration. Like, I should really be here. So instead of targeting 500 publications and just hoping somebody goes for it, spend that time to really go after publications, podcasts, where you think your audience is listening, where you think a mention or sharing your expertise and your story and your know-how is going to help you connect with your target audience and really move the needle on your business. So it doesn't have to be hundreds. It can be one or two or three. And that can be done by sorry, I lost my shoe. That could be done by the expert themselves. But when you get to a place where your business is really busy, you don't necessarily have the bandwidth to do that outreach or the volume of follow-up that you want to launch a course or launch a book or something at scale, and you have the budget, then it's time to reach out for the help of an expert, because PR pros know how to do targeted, strategic, very specific pitching that are customized for each editor, not spray and pray. Yes, there are PR pros that do spray and pray. I see it all the time. It's really lazy, and it's like, not our audience. It's not you. It's not your community. But that's when it might be time, if you have the budget and volume, to reach out to an agency.
Yeah, absolutely.
Go for it yourself. The worst they can do is say no.
Yes, exactly. No, absolutely. Yes. And Jen, you mentioned a few publications, and I think when we are clear on the publications that are really speaking to our audience, this is where we should try. I always invite, personal brands and the people that are following me and students and so on to think of a short list of magazines or publications where they would like to be a contributing writer. Or
a contributing writer. Okay. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. What do you think is the role of this activity in, in the PR strategy of a personal brand? Do you think it's something that is conducive to, to reach and to reputation and possibly to business as well?
Yeah. So you're asking about being like having a byline, like contributing on a regular basis, like you're an Inc. contributor or entrepreneur contributor. Yeah. Yeah, well, I know some of these platforms are doing councils where you pay, and it's a couple $1,000s a year. You have to apply, and I think they're looking to get a wide range of different authority voices so that they don't have all PR pros or all, .com startup founders. So those you have to apply for, and then you're paying. I mean, you're essentially like, these publications are really looking for ways to monetize the value that they provide to these experts. And so that's one way that they've done it. And I personally haven't really recommended any of our audience do it. It might be a good fit for your audience as personal brands. Mine is typically PR pros. There are pay to play that are shady pay to play. And then there's more collaborative with the publications where they have their own way to go about pay to play. Beware of the agencies that are going to charge you pay to play. They'll say only if I get a feature. What they're doing is they're buying wholesale, almost advertorial space, or they're working with a freelancer who's violating their contract. And that freelancer is giving them the opportunity to get featured and getting paid for it. And as soon as the publication finds out, they shut down that vertical and they delete all their content, and you've paid for nothing because it's gone. So that is one I would say any small agency offering pay to play is really not. It's also that we have ethics and guidelines in PR, and that's definitely outside. It's beyond a gray area. It's really unethical. But through the publications themselves, if you have the budget and you want to write for one business publication and contribute consistently, it could be like $3,000 to $5,000 to $10,000 a year. And now you have a platform, and it's basically like you're a blogger or a contributor. They do have guidelines on the kinds of content and the kinds of experts and other people you can pull in, because they want to protect against people selling access to their column, because that's unethical. But you can still accomplish this, not necessarily on as regular of a basis, but if you want to say, like, I've been a featured expert on Forbes Inc., Business Insider or whatever, then pitching a story idea to a regular columnist or even a contributor works really well. And that doesn't cost you anything. And as long as you have alignment with the idea of your story, that it's the right fit for that publication, that author tends to write about this topic, you're not giving them an idea that they've already covered and saying, well, I should have been a part of that, so I'm pitching you the same idea, or update your story. That's a no-no. Don't do that. But come at it with a unique spin, or say, I know that you write about this topic. The next sort of step in that process you covered is what I teach about, or what I am known for. And I'd love to tell you like a really good idea for a follow-up to that your audience would be interested in, because if they read that, then they need to know about this too. And you can pitch for a one-off in that approach. And otherwise, those regular contributor articles, those are changing quite a bit. Even with Forbes, we're seeing that they're contributors that are not paying to be a part of the platform, but actually are getting paid for their content. They have had a directive to change the kinds of articles that they're writing, and it's still unfolding, so we're not entirely sure how it's going to shape up. But publications are shifting quite a bit because it's a way for them to monetize. So they're offering people the ability to pay to be part of a council. You have to apply. And if that sounds interesting and you have the budget and you don't mind writing consistently, then that could be an interesting approach. And now you are a vetted authority that's a regular contributor to Inc. or Fast Company or Entrepreneur Magazine. So look into those if it's the right fit. For us, it doesn't work because we're pitching products and we need to be part of product stories and founder stories. Those are the more in-depth. Like Fast Company would do a profile on a business and the founders, and you have to share growth metrics and revenue, even as a private company. So that's another avenue, but it's a little bit more, you're exposing yourself to a lot of scrutiny and access to your sales and revenue and growth metrics and profit and things like that, because they want to report the nitty gritty. So there's a lot of opportunities. It just depends what you're trying to, again, it's about setting goals and objectives and looking at what you're trying to accomplish.
Absolutely, definitely. I love this. And let's say that we want to become a regular contributing writer, a regular columnist for a publication, maybe not a publication that is not on the same level as Inc. or Entrepreneur. Is it something that you would recommend? Maybe like a smaller publication, for example. I have a student that is now a columnist in this publication. I myself as well. I became a columnist as well in a publication that is not Inc. or Entrepreneur, but it's like a global publication about networking. They talk about networking and so on.
Oh, wonderful.
because I'm a publicist, but I'm a global super connector as well, and so on. So of course, one day myself, I would love to be, a columnist in a, high profile publication. But I think, let me start let me start small. Yes.
Yeah.
So is this something that you would recommend, to maybe start small and then perhaps
Absolutely.
build a little bit of track record?
Always start small. We try to tell our clients this as well. It's like everybody comes and, back in the day, it was like, I want to be on Oprah, I want to be on Ellen, I want to be, the Today Show. And I would say, well, let's start with your local news outlet first, because what that gives you the opportunity to do, there's so much value there. Number one, you have a track record of showing, if it's TV or let's say for TV, you can show you're telegenic, you can carry a segment. That's why podcasts are great, because you can show, I have charisma, I can carry the segment forward, and I can bring energy to whatever interview I'm doing. You also can show, if it's a digital publication, that you were able to leverage your feature and drive traffic. That's a huge, do not discount the ability to drive traffic to a publication and have that be a selling point to featuring you. So if you have an audience, you have a built-in audience, like you have this Facebook group with, 1,000 members, you can say, we amplify in our group. My Lola, Lola, my dog just walked by, for anybody listening to the podcast. You have the ability to amplify everybody. Even these publications, the big mainstream publications, are looking to drive traffic. They want to see that you are going to support their publication by leveraging your feature and driving traffic. So let's say you're starting smaller, you can test the concepts that resonate. You can test what angles, what stories, what tips. Really, sometimes you're like, well, this is really interesting and I'm going to share it and people are going to love it. And it's like crickets and you're going, what happened? And then something you just never expected just takes off like wildfire. And you're like, oh, that's the thing I should be leaning into. And you can test those ideas in smaller publications, and having a regular platform you're contributing to gives you the ability to be consistently listening to your audience, thinking about what they want to know about, really refining. And that's really how I got deeper into the topics that we share. We always share something that people love hearing about because we're listening to them, and we just build content around what they have already mentioned they want to know about. And so because we have an audience that is giving us feedback, those ideas also resonate on a bigger scale with the media. Because if our small audience is like really excited about it, then a bigger audience, especially with, when you say you're in a networking publication and that's what you do, you're known for networking, that is like perfect angle and audience and publication alignment. And because you know what they cover and what your audience is coming to you to learn more about, you can pitch those ideas to the publication because they're going to amplify your ideas on a bigger scale. So start small, get your chops, figure out what resonates, figure out, how to package your story in a concise way. And then you have that as evidence of, here are some of my bylined articles, here are some segments, here are some podcasts. So that editor that's considering you can say, oh, she's experienced, she's done this before. She can carry, she has personality, she can carry a segment if it happens to be like a podcast or a TV show. And you can say, my audience loves when I share these articles, and they all, so we were one of the top 10 articles that was reviewed on this platform. You can see if there's a stat like that, because you want to show, not only can I give you good information, but on the back end, I'm going to leverage my feature on social media and in my networking groups and drive traffic to it.
Yes.
So that you're giving them love, you're showing them love, and they really do want that traffic coming to them. Don't discount that. If you have any sort of social following whatsoever, pitch that out and make sure they know you're going to share and amplify to your audience of, 100,000 people on TikTok or whatever.
That's amazing. Great. There's one more point that we have to include in our pitches when we explain what is in for the publication. That is amazing. Thank you so much, Jen. And Jen, we know that getting an award is one of the best way to get third-party validation. And this question is directly inspired by you because you have been awarded many, many times. So, so the question is, shall personal brands or also create a little bit of strategy, let's say, to get at least an award per year?
Yeah, or more or whatever. Here's the deal with awards. They are not coming to find you. You got to be in it to win it. You have to throw your hat in the ring. They're not going to be like, you know what, we've heard about you. We want you to enter. You have to submit. And I would always say, like, why are we not an award-winning PR agency? Like, why don't we win awards? Well, you got to throw your hat in the ring. And so it takes time to research what awards are out there that might be a fit for you. All of the major publications have their own awards. There's also industry awards. You can ask people. We have an awards database that we have developed as part of our Jeneration Academy platform. And we offered it as a bonus to our Pitch Lab members because it does add so much value to you and your business, but also as PR professionals, we offer award submission as a service and our clients love it. Like we just won a men's health award for a client of ours has a new men's product and they're buying the badge and it's a lot of money to buy those little seals if you win, but they're so happy that they won this award that they're happy, they're happy to do it. And so we offered this awards database as a way for our audience to offer it as an additional service. But my point is, it is very, very hard to figure out all of the awards that are available for each industry. It took us years, and we asked our audience, like, what awards would your clients want to win? Because we can put it in the database and then keep track of the submission period, the criteria. So it's very time consuming. So we try to keep up and check regularly. And so figure out the awards that would be a fit, or like your competitor won one and you go like, they're not better than what we have to offer. So now you start to pay attention to, we have like PR Week and the Stevies and Inc. magazine and just those are industry. Well, Stevie's is global, more, there's a million categories. There's digital awards for podcasts and websites, and there's so many things that you can submit to, and there usually is a fee, but don't sleep on awards. It's super easy, and really it's about paying very close attention to what they're asking. What is the foundation of the award, like Inc. Innovation Awards or, Fast Company Innovation Awards. If you answer their questions and every single thing you talk about does not focus on innovation, you're not going to win. You have to really pay attention to the way they're asking questions. Usually there's a limited amount of space. Make every single thing count. So we started winning awards when we were really positioning our application to directly answer what they were asking. Mm-hmm. So sometimes it takes a little bit of like finessing your initiatives, your efforts to fit what they're asking. Like we never really considered ourselves, like a COVID response agency, but we did actually pivot some client campaigns when COVID hit, and we ended up winning an award for a campaign that we were about to launch a brand new, really innovative product at the beginning of the pandemic, and then it was a lipstick, and everyone was wearing masks, and we were like, how are we going to launch a lipstick when everyone's in a mask? So we pivoted and we went to thought leadership of the founder of the company, who happened to study infectious diseases and knew about a novel coronavirus. Like it was the most random thing, but she also had she was a beauty company, but she had brush cleaning tools and things that would help prevent the spread of infection on your makeup tools. And so we kind of leaned into her expertise, and she was like a virologist and then ended up becoming a makeup company founder. She was pretty amazing, and just pivoted, not really knowing that we were a COVID response, agency. Like we didn't, and we also put out resources for the PR community. We put out a bundle that was like, everybody was concerned. What do we pitch? Do we pitch? Is it inappropriate? What do we talk about? Everybody's in a panic. So we put together resources of editors that wanted to hear from PR pros, of publications and what angles they were looking for. They said, we're done with work from home. We want to know about these things. And so we put out a COVID resource bundle. So we really positioned what we did in response to COVID as an agency, not even really knowing that that was core to who we were, but the award asked about it. That was one of the criteria. And we're like, oh, what did we do? Oh, we actually did do some stuff. I never would have put it in the award submission if they didn't specifically ask, and we positioned it in a way where that pivoted response, we ended up winning an industry award. So I mentioned that to Inc. And then we ended up winning Best in Business for advertising and PR. So it's really about answering their specific questions, not giving them what you want them to know, but giving them what they want to know about you.
Yes, exactly. Oh my God, this is amazing. And we know that like you just explained so clearly, so beautifully, that this is it's a full-time job, right? And I remember that the big corporations that I worked for, they all had huge departments made of maybe 10, 15 people that, their only job for the whole year was actually to get awards, right? And they were sitting in the headquarters, and I would communicate with them because I was always in the Swiss and the Austrian market. And I would report to them every month what the awards had been for the month, who won the awards and so on, what the plans were and so on. And they would strategize like at the highest levels as well, at the, SVP levels as well, to also some strings in order to get the awards as well. And then of course the publicists had to do their work as well. Like it was a concerted effort. And
you don't have to be intimidated by that. Like, yes, you worked at major, airline, like global scale. Us as individuals, if I'm blown away by the Inc. Best in Business Award, because like we're a small agency. It wasn't even for the agency. It was for the PR community and the resources that we have. And all I did honestly was like create a PDF of all the feedback I've gotten from our community and just the shifts that they've made and the wins that they've had and how our resources help them. That was it. And that did the trick. So that's very intimidating. If I would have heard that and been like, oh, well, I don't have that ability, I'm not gonna, and not to say that you can't, our audiences can't throw their hat in for a smaller award, and a smaller company can't throw their hat in for a bigger global award, so it's just about really paying attention to what they're asking. And it's like, you just have to try, like you're not going to win if you don't try. And it's frustrating sometimes when there's a big submission fee and you have no chance. That's really annoying. But you have to say, okay, is the $600 that I'm going to submit for this award or give to it, is it worth the gamble? Even if you're shortlisted, you can say we were a nominee or a runner-up or whatever for a so-and-so award, or recognized by this publication. A little wordsmithing, but it's just give it a try, and it is a lot of work to keep up on what awards are available for your industry, but it's worth it. It really is worth it. And once you do that kind of audit, keep a spreadsheet, keep a Google sheet, and have someone on your team where you just kind of check it monthly to see like when have they opened submissions, when are the deadlines. There's usually a discount if you do early bird. Definitely jump in and do them early, or sometimes you can pay early and then finish the award later. So it's all worth it. It's definitely worth it.
And it's so worth it also because this is how I met you, through the award that you got from PR Week. This is how I discovered you.
Oh, tell me, I didn't know that. Really?
Yes, it was a few years ago, and you were featured because of the award. And then I looked you up, and then I started following you on Instagram and so on. Yeah.
Oh, I
And
love
then
that. Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, that's cool. So people will find you also. It's not just you pushing the credibility out, it's the visibility that you get where people are then drawn to you. So I love hearing that. That's great.
that's great.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yes. Oh my God, Jen, we are approaching the end of our conversation today, but I do have one last question. It might sound like a silly question. Some people find it silly, some people don't. I'm still going to ask it to you. So, what is something that I haven't asked you over the past, let's say, 40 minutes, but I should have asked you?
Oh, interesting. Um, what have you not asked me? Let's see. So
Hmm.
your audience is personal brand. So um, maybe you would have said, what's the coolest media feature you've ever had and how did you get it?
Oh my God. So, Jen, what is the coolest media features you've ever got and how did you get it?
So one of the coolest things that ever happened to me is I was featured by Apple in a global marketing campaign. Yeah, and it was the reason I'm sharing it's like about it came about because I really just shared my passion for my work. So I'm a former attorney and I was a litigator. I know you know that, but I was a litigator for a few years. So I went to law school and all of my law school friends like scattered and did really cool stuff. So one of my friends ended up at Apple in their corporate law. And here I am, maybe 5 years into running my agency. And I reconnect with him on LinkedIn and I'm just like, hey, how's it going? And he said, oh, I see you're not practicing law. Like, let's schedule a call and catch up. And I'm going like, okay. And so we just start chatting and here I'm honestly personally feeling a little bit almost like I couldn't hack it, right? So I left law and this guy is now doing corporate law at the highest level for, he's like running corporate law at Apple. And so I felt a little bit like, does he think that I couldn't hack it? But I was so passionate about the pivot I made to starting PR and I'm like, I love Apple products. Like it was literally like first generation iPhone. This is how long ago it was, right? Before I had kids. So it was probably like 15 years ago. And he was like, this is so interesting to me. Like, so you run this agency, how did you do this? And I was just thinking, I love my work and I lit up. It's like when you're really passionate about something, it's very genuine how you speak about it. That's why I love entrepreneurs pitching their own PR because a PR pro, we can't deliver that same authentic passion for your own work that somebody can. So that's all I did is I just really shared authentically how much I loved the work I was doing, how much of a fit it was for me. I loved it so much. And I really felt like I was making a difference for these businesses that I got to work with. And it was different than litigation, where all I did was tear down companies, and PR is about building up businesses you believe in. And he was like, that's so interesting. God, I love this. I'm going to tell the head of global brand positioning about you. And I'm like, whatever, dude, sure, right? So like a week goes by and he calls me and says, can I set up a call for you? Because they want to feature you in a campaign they're doing, a global campaign about how businesses are using Apple products to power their business. And they want to talk to you as a busy entrepreneur on the go using their iPhone to run your agency. And I was like, get out of town. Are you kidding me? And it took about probably 7 or so months because it was like a huge coordinated effort. But they sent a team to follow me all around LA for 2 days. We did a video, just talking about my phone, and it was beautifully shot and it sat on Apple's platform for about 5 years. And I got tons of leads from it, and we still have the web. The thing is gone now. I mean, it's way gone. But we were featured with like Nestle and I can't even remember, like just huge, like Blue Cross and big companies, and then little old me like walking around on my phone. But it was the coolest thing that ever happened to me. It was so awesome, and it really just came about from sharing my passion for what I do, and it just landing on the right audience who said, there's something here. So you can still see the video. It's on YouTube. I have it on my YouTube channel, but it was just really, really cool and incredible. And I couldn't talk about it. And I was like, I'm so excited. I just like, I was busting at the seams. And when it came out, it was just like, so I mean, it was like just the coolest thing ever. So
Oh, this is amazing. Thank you so much for telling this story. And in my opinion, that speaks as well to, let's say, to networking and, how weak ties can create these, let's say, serendipitous opportunities as well, right? For, in this case, for visibility and exposure.
oh,
Wow.
that's so true. Yeah, that's a great, I love how you take that and you also look at it from your lens as well, from networking. And you're totally right. I mean, yeah, just staying in touch and really, making those connections and just sharing what you love and you're passionate about. People really are drawn to that.
Yeah, absolutely. So well done for that
Thanks.
catch up with your ex-colleague.
Yeah, I mean, I was like, ooh.
We're also busy, and a lot of times we don't want to make space, or not even 20 minutes to catch up with somebody. But actually, it's really like most opportunities come from our weak ties, from the weak ties in our network. So we better make a little bit of space. I know it's difficult, but I always recommend to make a little bit of space at least once a week for some random reconnection with somebody. Exactly. If just 10 minutes is enough sometimes.
Yeah, I do it. You know what I love to do is just DM somebody a voice memo, like I'm thinking of you. And, I do it when I walk my dog and I just like it's like when someone enters your mind and you have that like, oh yeah. And I just leave them a voice memo and I kind of let them know, like I was thinking of them and I'm grateful for them or what they mean in my life. And just staying connected in that way. And even wrapping up that memo with like, hey, let's schedule a catch up. But it gives you that easier way to just like share your voice. And I think people kind of appreciate that even more than like when I leave voice memos for people, sometimes just members of our audience, they're like, oh my God, I didn't know, they don't know if it's really you sending DMs or if it's someone on your team. I don't know. My team's not big, but when you just take that little time of like, it's really me and I just want to say hi, they really appreciate that. So that's what I do.
Absolutely, this is amazing. And this is actually in line with what Brendan Bashad recommends as well. So, right, exactly. So,
Yeah.
recommend.
I'm a certified high performance coach in his methodology. So yes, exactly. That's right.
This is what I wanted to say, because Jen is, ladies and gentlemen, Jen is not only a PR agency owner, and she's not only a business mentor to PR agency owners, but also she's a high performance coach certified personally by Brendan Bashad.
Mm-hmm. That's true. I am. I'm getting recertified in 2 weeks. Every year you got to re-up and learn new skills. And it's really cool. Honestly, I just love bringing that into, my personal, it just even like the connection with my family and my husband and how I've been able to support him through his business transformation and leaving corporate and starting his own thing. I mean, it's like, I just want everybody to have their own companies, like go be entrepreneurs and make tons of money and do it on their own terms. Like that's my passion. So that really is another just layer of how I can, offer value. So
yeah, this is something that I totally notice in each one of our monthly mastermind calls, in which you guide us, and the approach that you have is clearly, I can tell because I know, because I'm not certified with Brendan Bashard, of course, but I've done some high performance coaching with Brendan's coaches and so on. And yes, it's something that is totally visible, even though we are talking about PR businesses, right, in your mastermind. So this is amazing. And this is not something that you can see very often when you are in a mastermind container or a coaching container. So this is something that makes you, another thing that makes you stand out. Oh my God, you have so many strengths.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Yes. Oh my God, Jen, this was an amazing conversation. Thank you so much. We ended up talking for 50 minutes. Can you believe it? I can't.
Yes, I can. I talk a lot. I know I talk a lot, but if I have an idea, I'm like, I got to tell them this, and this. I got to get everything out, So thank you for having me. And I love the value you're bringing to this audience and just, sharing what you know how to do that comes so naturally to you and giving them those, takeaways that they can use to make their businesses better and their connections better. It's just, really a gift when you are able to share what your gifts are with an audience that can get value from you. So I just think it's awesome what you're doing.
Thank you so much. And it's awesome what you are doing as well. And I have to credit you for most of my success. So thank you so much for getting me started on this, in this new world after my 15 years in corporate.
Oh, I love it. Yes, that's what we like to hear. So love it.
Right. All right, Jen, thank you so much again. And we'll be sure to include all of your links here in the comment section of this live. And then, of course, in on our YouTube channel as well. So everybody can look you up and they can find you and follow you and learn so much about PR.
Thank you. Love it.
All right, and I'll see you soon at the next mastermind call with you. And guys, I will see you tomorrow for another episode of the Personal PR Show. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.